In due course of time, apparently new types of organisms are recognizable. जिसकी progeny ज़्यादा रहेगी, उसमें you will have newer forms of life arising. All the existing life forms share similarities and share common ancestors. वही पहला वाला point आ गया. Hence, these ancestors were present at different periods in the history of Earth. Right? Now, history of Earth का मतलब क्या होता है? History of Earth का मतलब होता है कि the time between the formation of Earth and today, the point where Earth was formed and today, it is called as geological time scale. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल. अच्छा, ये पूरे स्केल को अगर हम लोग को डिवाइड करना है ना, तो उसके डिवीजन को हम लोग बोलेंगे एरा. द जियोलॉजिकल टाइम इज डिवाइडेड इनटू एरास. एरास आर फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू पीरियड्स and periods are further divided into epoch. Right? Maybe a lecture or two down the line, I will talk about all the eras, all the periods, all the epochs, please. We will have to know the names of these eras, periods and epochs, please. So, but for today, what is important is the entire time period is, so what is the larger division? Era. Every era is further divided into periods and periods are divided into epochs. The geological history of Earth closely correlates with the biological history of Earth. क्या हो गया? मुझे मालूम नहीं कुछ हुआ क्या? Okay. ठीक है. See, now this is where the first discussion has ended. Right? If anybody is referring to the NCERT, after the theory of special creation, there is a discussion which starts 6.2 में, right? That discussion is ending here, right? Na? That is what we had discussed. Please, I would appreciate if you can go through this discussion very fast and see if you have understood every sentence from this discussion. Please. Then I'll go to the next part of the discussion, which talks about some other part. Take your time, we are not in a hurry, please. Doubt solving कर? हाँ? छोटू चैप्टर है यार. फ्रॉग भी नहीं, उसमें तो क्या है? फ्रॉग तो सब सिंपल है यार. इट्स वेरी इजी. अच्छा, कॉकरोच में ना, you already have the notes for cockroach. NCERT does not describe cockroach, right? ना? NCERT has gone bonkers. हाँ, NCERT में cockroach नहीं है, लेकिन cockroach 2 क्वेश्चन दिए उन्होंने बार. फ्रॉग दिया है, फ्रॉग से एक भी नहीं आया क्वेश्चन. हाँ, तो cockroach से 2 क्वेश्चन दिए बार. Anyways, from cockroach ना, restrict, please stick to the matter given in the notes only. वो NCERT वाला ही मैटर है लास्ट ईयर का. Second is do the part of phalomeres properly. Left, right, ventral. वो थोड़ा सा हम लोगों ने डिटेल में पढ़ा है, राइट ना? कौन सा सबसे बड़ा है, कौन सा सबसे छोटा है, राइट ना? Ventral, what is ending on ventral and all that. Please do that properly. It is not there in the NCERT, but it is all deductible from the diagram. It is all analyzed from the diagram. So diagram of reproductive system of male and female बहुत important है, please. उसपे से 2-3 क्वेश्चन मैंने डाले हैं. All the are yes, please. Huh? Left, smallest ventral. छोड़े बहुत ज्यादा है. इतना छोटा डिस्क्रिप्शन, हाँ बस और क्या, हार्डली 20-25 क्वेश्चंस यू विल हैव, उससे तो कुछ मतलब व्हाट मोर कैन यू पुट उसमें. फ्रॉग में खाली जो क्लोएका वाला कंसेप्ट है, फिर तुम्हारा साइनस फिनोसस, कोनस आर्टेरियोसस, बाकी तो ऑल सिस्टम्स आर वेरी सिमिलर टू व्हाट वी हैव डन इन मैन, राइट ना. खाली जस्ट टेक पेयर इन गेट दैट टेस्टिस आर अटैच्ड टू द किडनी, मेसोर्कियम, बिडर्स कैनाल, जो थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस है वही, बाकी सब तो सेम ही है. हाँ किडनी है, किडनी बिडर्स कैनाल एंड देन या ओके. चलो पढ़ो. We'll talk more about tomorrow when we meet online. Don't worry. क्या कुछ प्रॉब्लम है बेटा? प्रॉब्लम है तो पूछो. नहीं है तो उसको क्यों पूछ रही है? Mental is smallest, left is biggest. कॉकरोच तो पढ़ा है हम लोग ने ना, रिविजन के लिए डिटेल से. कॉकरोच में और क्या डिटेल है? आई पुट द लिंक. डोंट वरी. I think we took 3 lectures on cockroaches. Two lectures. I'll put the link, don't worry. If you just send me a reminder, I'll put it. हाँ डाल दूंगा ना ग्रुप पे, खाली उसको जरूर डालूंगा. हाँ तो दे दिया मैंने, करेक्शन दे दिया. Everybody is putting that on personal. तुम्हें क्या मतलब, ठीक है मुझे जिसको डालना है डाल दे. In the night I replied on the group also. रात को ग्रुप पे मैंने टैग करके बोल दिया हाँ ये दोनों है, तब तक सब लोग डाल रहे थे. डाल लो, व्हाट्सएप पे जगह खाते हैं लोग. मैंने डाल दिया, मैंने जो कंसर्न अथॉरिटी था उसको फॉरवर्ड कर दिया कि ये चेंजेस है, आप प्लीज करेक्शन कर देना. बाकी पेपर वेरी सिंपल. Whatever changes are taking place in the geography, it is corresponding changes taking place in the biology. Yes, sir. So every particular era, quiet please. Every particular era was related to development of some organism. So maybe amphibians, fishes, right? Just a Jurassic period is associated with dinosaur. Very easy example to understand. Jurassic is one of the periods. Mesozoic. शो में टेंशन आ गया, तो कैसे मालूम है?
लास्ट टाइम जो एक्सटिंक्शन के पांचों के पांचों नाम है.
ठीक चलो. Yes, please. Done? Yes, has everybody understood this discussion, please? Okay. Now again, if you refer to NCERT 6.5 NCERT जो है ना, yes, that page, right? Again, there is a brief discussion of the Darwin's theory, please. Now the author is mentioning that okay, fine, Darwin's theory है, natural selection है, but again when you correlate natural selection to origin of life, the author is just trying to make a guess that natural selection भी तो कभी ना कभी start हुआ होगा. मतलब when must have natural selection started? See, is natural selection based on only one and one feature variation? जब दो organism में difference होगा, तो one will be better, one will be less better. So बिना variation के natural selection नहीं हो सकता. बोले you have cellular form of life developing, non-cellular, क्या ना? Non-cellular was 3 billion and cellular was 2 billion. बोले when cellular forms have come, right? So will this cellular form perform metabolism? Yes or no? Yes. बोले when you have two cells with difference in their metabolic capacity, this is variation. बोले for the first time when you have two cells with differences in their metabolic capacity, natural selection तब शुरू हुआ होगा. Evolution by natural selection would have started when cellular forms of life with differences in metabolic capability originated on Earth. So this is now tracing that when must natural selection have started on Earth. The essence of Darwinian theory about evolution is natural selection. The rate of appearance of new forms, how fast new forms will come, is linked to the life cycle or the lifespan. Please इसको underline करो. ये बहुत ही ignored statement है. So जितना organism का लाइफ स्पैन या लाइफ साइकिल छोटा होगा, उसके generations उतने फास्ट जाएंगे. तो new forms will arise more faster in those organisms than those organisms जिसका लाइफ स्पैन बड़ा होगा. Now they have cited an example. They have given example of microbes. Well, microbes, let's say for example, you take a culture plate. You know how microbes are cultured, na? You take some medium, nutrient medium. Whatever is the nutrient, right? Na starch ho, glucose ho, sucrose ho, fructose ho, kuch bhi ho, whatever nutrient, and you allow bacteria to grow on them. बराबर है? Please listen to the example properly. Try to understand what is written there, please. How does the bacteria grow? It will utilize the nutrient from the medium, and with the help of that nutrient, it will start multiplying. ऐसे grow होगा ना, and it will become millions now. अब इसका life cycle है छोटा, तो इसके generations बहुत fast जाएंगे, right? Now, can I say that this is a microbes, bacteria का population? Will the population have built-in variation now? बराबर ना? बैक्टीरिया का काम सिर्फ एक है, न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम से न्यूट्रिएंट को यूटिलाइज करना और डिवाइड करना. लाइफ एकदम फोकस्ड है उसका. So now, does it depend on its ability to utilize the nutrient medium? Is that the variation present here? See now what you are doing is, you are bringing a change in the nutrient medium. थोड़ा nutrient medium को slightly tweak करते हो. राइट, मे बी थोड़ा सब्सटेंस चेंज कर देते हैं। अब जैसे ही आपने न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम को चेंज किया, will there be only a small section which has the ability to utilize the new one more efficiently? So when you are changing the nutrient medium, are you changing the living conditions now? Right? So will all the previous be able to utilize this new medium? नहीं, उसमें से कुछ थोड़े होंगे जो इस नई कंडीशन को अच्छी तरह अडेप्ट कर सकते हैं। तो क्या वो उनके लिए फेवरेबल वेरिएशन हो गया? So now will these be able to multiply more faster? Will they have a higher R value? And gradually you will find them replacing them. So what is this? A new form of life arising now. Microbes that divide fast have the ability to multiply and become millions within hours. A colony of bacteria growing on a given medium, please write here nutrient medium. I know you सबको पता है, but फिर भी लिख दो आप nutrient medium. Has built-in variation. वही अपना पहला वाला स्टेटमेंट, every population has built-in variation in characteristics. अब यहाँ पर कौन सा characteristic में variation है? In terms of ability to utilize a feed component. कौन सा? न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम का फीड कंपोनेंट। इस फीचर में वेरिएशन है। अ चेंज इन द मीडियम कंपोजिशन, हैव वी चेंज द कंडीशन नाउ, वुड ब्रिंग आउट ओनली दैट पार्ट ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, रेड वाला, दैट कैन सर्वाइव अंडर द न्यू कंडीशंस नाउ। इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम दिस वेरिएंट पॉपुलेशन आउटग्रोज द अदर्स, उसका आर वैल्यू ज्यादा रहेगा बाकी सबसे, and appear as a new species, and this will happen within days. Why this will happen within days? क्योंकि उसका life cycle छोटा है. For the same thing to happen in a fish or a fowl, life cycle बड़ा है. It would take millions of years now. And for the same thing to happen in something like man. So understand why Darwin is stating gradual. कि ये changes आने के लिए बहुत time लगेगा. It will take millions and millions of years for evolution to occur. Probably that is the reason why we don't see evolution in front of our own eyes. Right? Na? But we are not seeing transformation. एक organism दूसरा बन गया अभी. Right? Because it is very gradual and imperceptible. Yes, oh.
So for the new bacteria to have variation of the second medium, it should only have variation of the first medium, or it should not also, it cannot. Because if it is not able to survive in the first medium, but able to survive in the second medium, is that...
No, it has the ability to take the second medium more better than others.
Okay, so it still has...
First medium also, yes. Okay. Here we say fitness of B is better than fitness of A. Here by fitness what do we understand? शाबाश, समझ में आ रहा है तुम लोगों को। Nature selects for fitness. One must remember that the so-called fitness is based on those characteristics which are inherited. So this fitness is genetic in nature. If it is inherited, it is genetic in nature. There must be a genetic basis for getting selected and to evolve. Adaptive ability is inherited. It has a genetic basis. Important statement, please. Fitness is the end result of the ability to adapt and get selected by nature. Branching descent and natural selection are two key concepts of Darwinian theory of evolution. Oh, are you able to keep track in the NCERT side? बराबर ना? हाँ. Branching descent and natural selection. अब ये दोनों में से एक समझ में आ गया अपने को. क्या? Natural selection. दूसरा अपने सामने क्या है? Branching descent. Right? One small diagram and you'll understand what is branching descent. Right? Please be with me. Now branching descent में what are they trying to say is, let's say you have organism 1. Right? Now organism 1 continues to be organism 1, but from organism 1 you have development of 2. यानी 1 से नया स्पीशीज 2 आता है, लेकिन 1 डिसकंटिन्यू नहीं होता है. 2 में से let's say you have 3 and 4 coming. हाँ, 4 में से you can have 5 coming, but 4 will continue on its own. So this is called as, but all of them ultimately arising from 1. So are we talking about a common ancestor here coming? अब वो statement सोचो तुम लोग, they are sharing similarities with each other, but also with those which are existing millions of years ago. इसको बोलते हैं ब्रांचिंग डिसेंट. इसको बोलते हैं ब्रांचिंग डिसेंट. So what are the two key concepts of Darwinian theory of evolution? Branching descent and natural selection. It is possible that the work of Thomas Malthus on population influenced Darwin. Understood this point? Population वाला part, APGP वाला part, हाँ? Natural selections is based on certain observations which are factual. For example, natural resources are limited. Populations are stable in size. सही है, बराबर ना? अगर resources limited है, तो population will be stable in size, except for seasonal fluctuation. Members of population vary in characteristics. Now, which characteristics? Even though they look superficially similar, most of the variations are inherited. The fact that theoretically population size will grow exponentially. Please underline this part. Theoretically population size will grow exponentially. If resources are unlimited, can we have exponential growth? J-shape, dn by dt equal to Rn. Right? Does that J-shape curve cross K? Is that actually possible? No. In theory it is possible. कि अगर हम लोग assume करें कि resources unlimited है, तो any organism can reproduce at its maximum rate. What is that maximum rate called, guys? It is called as innate potential. वहाँ पे और एक term दिया था मैंने, biotic potential. Innate potential का दूसरा term होता है biotic potential. The maximum reproductive rate of an organism is innate potential. So if resources are unlimited, no opposing force, so हर एक organism अपने innate potential तक जा सकता है. मतलब वो exponentially produce कर सकता है. But the fact is, population sizes in reality are limited. So are we talking about the logistical curve now? Right now? Means there had been competition for resources. The fact that it is logistical growth, इसका मतलब competition is occurring. अगर exponential growth होता मतलब there is no competition. Resources सबके लिए available है. चूंकि resources limited है, competition हो रहा है, इसलिए population का size stable है. Only some have survived. Right now? Over the period of years, all have not survived. Only some have survived. And grew at the cost of others that could not flourish. तो जिसके पास favorable variation था, वो survive कर गए. जिसके पास नहीं था, वो survive नहीं कर गए. The novelty and brilliant insight of Darwin was this. Now this is the conclusion of Darwin's theory. He asserted, यहाँ से underline करना, that variations which are heritable मतलब which are passed from one generation to another and which make resource utilization better. कौन से variation जो heritable है और favorable है? Which make resource, which variation will make resource utilization better? Favorable variation. Those variations will enable only those to reproduce and leave more progeny. So it is favorable variation which is allowing organisms to survive. Hence, for a period of time, over many generations, survivors will leave more progeny and there will be a change in the population characteristics. New forms will appear now. New species will appear. So please try and understand this discussion in the backdrop of this part which I have explained. Now the conclusion of Darwin's as per the author, right? यहाँ पर author का confusion. Is evolution a process or the result of a process? Is evolution a continuous process या end में evolution होता है? Author को भी नहीं मालूम है. My children are brilliant. They come to know immediately. When we describe the story of this world, we describe evolution as a process. On the other hand, when we describe the story of life on earth, we treat evolution as a consequence of a process called natural selection. यानी natural selection हो रहा है, natural selection हो रहा है, natural selection हो रहा है, उसके बाद evolution. मतलब evolution end में हो रहा है, process natural selection है, या evolution process है. They still don't know. We are still not very clear whether to regard evolution and natural selection as processes or end results of unknown processes. Still, see, I told you, evolution is that branch of science, is that area of science where you will not get perfect answers to all the questions. And the author itself is admitting to that. Right? But definitely, Darwin's theory was, appealing to a very large section of population. And that is why today it is the most accepted theory of evolution. तो पहला हम लोगों ने theory किया वो लेमार्क, दूसरा डार्विन. The third one is Hugo de Vries, theory of mutation. Now Hugo de Vries, as you know, was one of those three people who rediscovered the work of Mendel. थोड़ा सा Mendel का जो टाइमलाइन है वो थोड़ा सा रिवाइज करते हैं. मेंडल के जो पी प्लांट एक्सपेरिमेंट्स थे, he finished that around in 1865, 63, 64, 65, whatever it is, right now.
7 years.
अब he published them, it got rejected. 1885 he died, and around 15 years, 16 years के बाद 1900, 1901 it was rediscovered by these three people, right? So are we talking about the first early part of the 20th century now, the first decade, right? And if you remember properly, 1905 Sutton and Boveri gave the chromosomal theory. 1905. So we are talking about that period now, right? Now in that period when Hugo de Vries was working, he was working on a plant called as evening primrose. Botanist था ना वो तो. Hugo de Vries was a botanist. He was working on a plant called evening primrose. Evening primrose का botanical name Enothera lamarckiana. Enothera lamarckiana evening primrose का नाम है उसका. Now Hugo de Vries was literally obsessed with this plant. You know what the entire rechecking the work of Mendel was, right? Generations में characteristics getting transferred from F1, F2, F3, right? Back cross, test cross and all that. He was checking, and in the process he studied around 50,000 plants of evening primrose. Now when he was doing these experiments, rechecking the work of Mendel, he came across one small observation. 50,000 plants में, in approximately 1% of plants, he observed that characteristics change suddenly in one generation. मतलब absolutely without any kind of intimation, कुछ नहीं, मतलब कोई पेरेंट के साथ सिमिलरिटी नहीं, एकदम चेंज. वो बेचारा व्हाइट फ्लावर है या पिंक फ्लावर है, वो गोरा है या काला है, बताओ. Right? Without any intimation. Now Hugo de Vries, इतना large difference. बोले this large difference between two generations, he called it as mutation. And it is arriving suddenly एकदम. It is coming suddenly. इतना large difference. He said that ये जो है ना कोई generation नहीं है, ये नया species है बोले. And नए species mutation से आते बोले. तो उसने एक नया mechanism रख दिया evolution का. कि बोले evolution जो होता है वो कैसे होता है? Mutation से होता है. अचानक से होता है और एक जनरेशन में हो जाएगा. ये डार्विन का टाइम पास नहीं चलेगा बोले. According to Darwin it is gradual, but according to this guy, एकदम immediate, spontaneous. So he obviously later on बहुत सारे, but he is given credit for introducing the term mutation, right? In the first decade of the 20th century, Hugo de Vries based his work on evening primers brought forth the idea of mutation, large differences arising suddenly in a population. Now ये mutation का definition दिया है लोगों ने, large differences arising suddenly in a population. He believed this mutation which causes evolution and not the छोटा मोटा variation which Darwin is talking about. Mutations are random and directionless, मतलब evolution कहीं कभी भी किसके साथ भी हो सकता है. Whereas Darwin variations are small and directional. मतलब होगा consistently होगा, एक ही लाइन में होगा. जहां favorable variation है वहीं होगा. ये तो कोई favorable unfavorable नहीं, जिसके मन में जिधर आया वो आएगा. Evolution for Darwin was gradual. But for Hugo de Vries believed mutation caused speciation and hence he called it as saltation. Single step large mutation. Have you heard of the word saltation before this, please? You've done neurons. You've done the node of Ranvier. You've done transmission of impulse. Right? If this is the neuron, this is the node of Ranvier. Impulse can jump from node to node. Why does it jump from node to node? Because it will not be able to go through the myelin sheath because it is a bad conductor. तो इसकी वजह से इसका impulse जो fast होता है ना, तो ऐसा जो impulse होता है उसको saltation बोलते हैं. Because it jumps from one point to another. So it is jumping from one generation to another. एकदम. That's why he is calling it saltation. Have you seen the locomotion of a frog or a kangaroo? Yeah. It is called saltatory locomotion. उसको saltatory locomotion because they jump from one point to another. That's why. So that's why he called it saltation. Single step, large mutation. One point which I missed out when I was talking about Darwin is Darwin when he was describing and he was trying to prove his theory, उसने वही जिराफ वाला point निकाला, लेमार्क वाला, neck वाला point. Now he said, see the long neck giraffe, right now, is not existing because of what Lamarck said, use. No. बोले actually there were two types of giraffe, one long necked and one short necked, and when they changed the condition, the food was available on the tree, so this was a favorable variation for the long neck variety. So short neck की जो है वो it got extinct and the long neck existed. That is why it was variation which determined the outcome. ठीक है? So three theories we have tried to identify today. Number one, Lamarck, number two, Darwin, and number three, Hugo de Vries. Right? Next time we'll try to see what are evidences of evolution, the proofs of evolution.